Lead is a metal that is harmful if inhaled or swallowed. Children ages 6 and under are at the greatest risk when exposed to lead because their growing bodies absorb more lead than adults. Pregnant women and nursing mothers should also avoid exposure to lead to protect their children. So while these populations are especially vulnerable, everyone should avoid lead. There is no safe level of lead exposure. Um, so that's lead. Now, what is a service line? Service lines are a pipe that connects the water main in the street to the structure's internal plumbing. Lead service lines were installed until the mid-1950s and can be a major source of lead contamination in water. In the district, homes built before the 1980s were typically built with a lead service line. So as you can see in the image above, these households would have lead in both the public and private space. Under the 2000 lead copper rule revisions, water systems were required only to replace the portion of the lead service line that it owns. So this is termed partial lead service line replacements. So the thinking was less lead pipe is better because less lead would be better. But they found out that this was not the case, and partial lead service lines are actually more hazardous for your health because when a portion of the lead service line is removed, the lead particles are disrupted within the pipe and can actually lead to more lead exposure. So this quote is from the Natural Resources Defense Council, and it says, "At best, they waste money because they do not reduce levels of lead in drinking water. At worst, partial replacements can substantially increase lead levels for months or longer." So the Lead Pipe Replacement Assistance Program, or LPRAP, was created to help address households with completing the replacement of their partial lead service lines. So I'll get into the specifics in a minute, but essentially to be eligible for the program, you just need to have a partial lead service line, and there is no income limit for this program. So to check if your household has a partial lead service line, you can refer to DC Water's lead map, and that's at dcwater.com/leadmap. And so here at the top left, you can type in your address and search for your property's pipe material. So if you have a partial lead service line, your property will have a half green, half gray circle. And if you click on the details, it will say the public space there is copper and the private space there is lead, as shown here. So if your household does have that half green, half gray circle, you are eligible for the program, and you can apply either online, by email, or mail. So along with your application, we will also need a copy of your household's most recent DC water bill, the property owner's government-issued photo ID, so a license or passport, proof of property ownership, so this could be a mortgage statement, a tax bill, anything that just kind of proves you own that property, and then proof of income for each member of the household. And so the proof of income is optional, and I'll go into that in a minute. So the reason proof of income is optional is because all households with a partial lead service line are eligible for the program and would receive 50% of the cost covered up to $2,500 regardless of their income. However, depending on your household size and income, you may qualify for 80 or 100% of the cost covered. So a breakdown of the household size and assistance levels are listed here. But again, that income submission is completely optional. So households eligible for assistance level 1 would receive 100% of the cost covered. Households eligible for assistance level 2 would receive 80% of the first $2,000 of costs, plus 100% of costs over $2,000. So what that ends up breaking down to is about $400 that the homeowner would be responsible for in the assistance level 2 category. And then under assistance level 3, 50% of the costs are covered, not to exceed $2,500. So once you apply to the program, the Department of Energy and Environment will review your application and assign you a relief level, either assistance level 1, 2, or 3. So once we at the Department of Energy and Environment process your application, we will send you an email notification letting you know the assistance level you have been assigned and send you DC Water's contractor list. At that point, you would reach out to one of the contractors on their list. There's about 15 of them, and they will come out to your household to prepare a cost proposal form. And once you feel comfortable with that cost proposal form, you would sign and date it. And at that point, the contractor would submit the cost proposal form to DC Water for review. If DC Water has any questions about the cost proposal form or they need any follow-up, they will work with the contractor directly. The homeowner would not be involved in that process. And then once DC Water recommends approval of the cost proposal form, DOEE will send the homeowner a benefit confirmation letter detailing the exact benefit amount you have been approved and any next steps. So that's for LPRAP, which, as we mentioned, is for those partial lead service lines. But what do you do if you have a full lead service line and are not eligible for LPRAP? So DC Water is not allowed to do any more partial replacements. So under their capital improvements projects, if they're doing work on a street, the DC government pays DC Water to complete the private side repair at the same time. So homeowners do not need to apply to this program. DC Water will inform you if a capital improvement project is being conducted on your street. But what do you do if you have a full lead service line and no capital improvement project is scheduled in your neighborhood? So then you would go through DC Water's voluntary replacement program. So DC Water has a program to replace fully lead service lines. However, there's no financial assistance. The property owner must pay for the private side of the replacement, and then DC Water pays for 100% of the cost for the public side replacement at the same time. So we need your help. Go to DC Water's lead map to determine if your property has a full or partial lead service line, and then collect and submit the documentation for your application associated with the correct program. So that's it. I am happy to address any questions you may have now, or you're welcome to email or call me at the contact information listed here. See, maybe a question in the chat.
Let me see. So far, there aren't any questions in the chat. There was one person who said that they couldn't hear you very well. You sounded faint. So if that person does have any questions, then you can, if you do have questions, then just let me know and I'll ask Brooke to answer them. And I guess you can speak closer to the computer, Brooke, so that everyone's able to hear.
Yes, apologies for that. And please let me know if there's anything you would like me to repeat louder. I don't know if this is a little bit better. I moved the computer. I can also just go through a couple questions that we typically get. And so some people ask, what do they do if, so DC Water's lead map is missing some documentation. So some properties, the pipe material is actually unknown. And so some people will apply to the program and say, well, what do I do? I think I have a lead service line, but on their map it says it's unknown. But we at the Department of Energy and Environment rely on DC Water's map data to determine eligibility for the program. So what you would do is reach out to leadtest@dcwater.com and send them an email, and they will send you some next steps on how to identify that pipe material.
And you said there's no income required for this program.
Nope, no income limit. So
okay.
You may qualify for the 80 or 100% assistance, depending on your household size and income. But there is no income limit. You do not need to submit any income documentation. You would just automatically be put into that assistance level 3 category. So the 50% of cost covered up to $2,500.
Okay. And so how would someone be eligible to get the highest coverage?
For the 100% assistance, so that
yes.
Is the 80% area median income. So you would have to make, your household would have to make at or below the 80% area median income. And so I can actually scroll back and just put that up on the screen. But this information is on our website as well. So if your household is, you would look at your household size and then the income associated with it. And if you make at or below that amount, that's what assistance level you would fall into.
Okay.
And so a lot of times people would sometimes see this and not really know. So we would just encourage them to submit in their income documentation, and we will verify that actual income amount and your household size, and then place you into whichever assistance level you fall in.
Awesome. Okay. So it doesn't look like there are any questions. So which means you covered everything really well, Brooke. So
Well,
But
great. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to call or email me, and I am happy to help in any way I can.
and so your email is brooke.siegel@dc.gov.
Yep, or they can reach me directly at leadline.replacement@dc.gov, whichever is easiest.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Everyone, let me check one more time. Make sure there aren't any questions. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you learned a lot. And for anyone in here who's working with clients or families that may need some assistance with getting their lead pipes replaced, please share this information with them. And the person presenting was Brooke. So if you do need to get in contact at DOEE, Brooke is with can you repeat
Yeah,
which?
I'm with the Affordability and Efficiency Division in the Energy Administration.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Brooke, for doing this. And we do have someone who said that they will be sharing this with other people. So that's awesome. Thank you. And
Thanks so much.
all right, everyone, have a good day.